So today I'm kind of doing a sort of off the cuff video, kind of a rent. I wanted to say rant and vent, but yeah, it's like a rant and event at the same time, but also to kind of inform you guys about some stuff that you guys are probably already aware of. So I wanted to talk about something called prior authorization, which is the bane of our existence. For many of us that are on medications or that have to be on medication for a long time. So, if you guys have not seen my exosomes videos, you might want to watch those. As you know, I had to stop taking my immune globulin medication, and I had to stop taking it because I did the exosomes treatment in January. I was only supposed to stop taking it for a few weeks, and then I could go back on it. And unfortunately, when I went back on it, I didn't respond well to it anymore. I was flaring. I've been flaring pretty badly from the exosomes. So, that has been an unexpected development. It was not something that I was told would happen. It was actually something that, happened. My doctor had assured me before that I would still be able to take my Gamma Guard medication. I just had to wait a couple weeks after the exosomes and then I would be fine. And unfortunately, I wasn't fine. So what happened today was I got a phone call from the pharmacy, from the infusion pharmacy, telling me that I needed to follow up with my neurologist. I followed up with her once already. She's the prescribing doctor. I followed up with her a couple months ago. I let her know what was going on, and she said, wait until July and then try it again. Then I followed up with my immunologist, and she said, look, why don't we wait until about 8 months post exosomes, which would be October, like the end of September, beginning of October. And I was like, okay. The problem is that my prior authorization expires in September. So what is a prior authorization? So I'm going to talk about a prior authorization in relation to my Gamma Guard immunoglobulin medication because it's a very, very difficult medication to get approved by insurance. And typically when you need a prior authorization, it's because a medication is difficult to get covered by insurance. So what happens is a doctor basically has to present your case to the insurance and say, look, this is why my patient needs this medication. They will provide test results, whatever they have to make the case to the insurance company and let them know that my patient needs this medication. Now, the reason why I am very stressed is because I had no positive tests for stiff person syndrome, which is the condition I am being prescribed Gamma Guard for. I had no positive tests. I did not have a positive GAD antibody test prior to this year, and I did not have any other positive tests. They do it's like called an EMG or something where they stick the needles in you to test your muscle, whether your muscles are firing. Did not have a positive EMG either. Did not have a positive anything. She basically went off of my description of how I responded to Gamma Guard when I was on it many years ago. So this presents a lot of challenges for doctors, and they get very, very stressed when they have to talk to insurance companies because insurance companies, as you know, are designed to deny you care, to save themselves money and deny you care. Immune globulin medication is incredibly expensive. It runs several $1,000s, I think, per vial. And then, of course, all the other stuff, needles, IVs, nursing care, and things like that. So you're looking at thousands of dollars per month in insurance coverage, right? That the insurance has to pay out. I remember years ago when I did 1 year of Gamma Guard, I was doing 20 grams per month, which is about what I have done recently. 20 grams per month for 12 months. I remember getting the explanation of benefits at the end of that year, and it came out to about $30,000 for the year, which back at that time was like like an entry level job, like office job. That was about $30,000 a year. That was a while ago. $30,000 a year. Can you imagine paying, a full year's salary for medication? So it makes sense that insurance companies would want to deny you, and they will find any reason to deny you because they're not going to be shelling out $30,000 every year, or more than that, because that's on the lower dosage end. So, yeah. So what's happening now with me is that I'm coming up on that September authorization expiration. I have not gone back on my IVIG because I don't know. Well, my immunologist told me to wait until, she said wait until 8 months post exosomes, which is around October. And I was like, okay, but the pharmacy called me this morning and they're like, we need you to talk to your neurologist, the prescribing doctor, and let her know what's going on because we need some notes from her because the insurance is going to start asking questions and we need documentation to give them. And we don't have really anything right now. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't know if I'm still going to react. I stopped my immune globulin in mid-April. It is the end of July, or we're coming up on the end of July right now. Have not tried to go back on the medication. I want to try it, but I'm worried that I'm going to flare up because I'm still not feeling great from this flare up that the exosomes has caused. But I also kind of don't have a choice. My other option is to lie. But again, once they authorize the medication, but they don't prescribe it, because I stopped my shipments in April and it's been, like I said, about 3 months, the infusion company is like, well, we're not billing insurance. And the insurance is going to be like, why aren't you billing us? Isn't she supposed to be on this medication? And my concern is that if I don't get this medication prescribed to me, it may be more difficult. I mean, the doctor's going to have to go through the whole prior authorization process again. So basically, the infusion pharmacy is going to discharge me and say in January of next year, I decide, I'm like, you know what, I need to be on this medication again. She will have to go back and fight with the insurance and make a case. And the insurance may say, well, she stopped the medication because it wasn't helping her anymore. So why should we cover this again, right? I'm concerned that they may have more justification to deny me the second time around because I had actually said I'm not responding well to the medication. And of course, doctors themselves will just say, listen, I'm not doing this for you, which has happened. I've had many doctors tell me that, or not directly tell me that, but basically say, oh, go see a different doctor. Because it's hard, because they have to fight with insurance, because they have to justify it. And if their notes say patient is not responding well to the medication, then there's no justification for prescribing it. So it makes it very, very difficult to get it represcribed, especially a medication that is thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you don't know how prior authorization works, that's how it works. I may add this to my exosomes playlist because I have seen people because I am in some Facebook groups for exosomes and stem cells. And many people have asked questions whether their medical marijuana is going to interact with it, or whether some of their other medications are going to interact poorly with it. There's people that are like, no, you should be fine. You should be great. Well, that's what I was told. I was told that I wasn't going to have any interaction. I just had to stop my Gamma Guard 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the exosomes, and then I could pick back up on it. Unfortunately, I just did not respond well. So I feel like it's important to note that you may start having some kind of issue. I do know that my doctor told me not to take any kind of opioid medications because that does negatively impact the exosomes treatment. But that was the only thing she told me. I have read that antihistamines and anti-inflammatories like NSAIDs should be avoided, but she didn't tell me. My immunologist did not tell me that. I read that somewhere else. I think it is kind of a toss-up. I think it also depends on how bad your condition is, what your symptoms are. I have a lot of histamine issues. I have a lot of food and medication intolerance issues. I have a lot going on, and that may be the reason why my body just suddenly started rejecting the IVIG. I mean, technically, it wasn't rejecting that. I was flared up from the exosomes. I still am having some flaring from the exosomes, so it's not. I can't say it's the gamma guard, right? I mean, my flaring is slowly coming down, and I did feel a bit better after I stopped the gamma guard, but it didn't resolve the issue It didn't resolve the issue, to be honest. So, that's just kind of a heads up from me, because if you are on a medication, especially medication that has helped you, the gamma guard, the immune globulin, is the only medication that has ever helped me. Granted, it didn't reverse my condition, it didn't resolve my symptoms, but it did provide enough improvement for me to make it, to decide that it was worth it for me to continue taking it. And the side effects were pretty low for me. They weren't really that bad. So, the advantages outweighed the costs, or the benefit outweighed the costs. So, it's something that you should really think about, because if you're on a medication and it's really helping you, or at least it's making life tolerable, and you're considering exosomes or stem cells, ask yourself, even if your doctor hasn't told you, ask yourself whether that would be an even exchange, to exchange the exosomes for your medication, because it's possible you may not respond well to your medication depending on your condition. You may not respond well to it after exosomes or stem cells. I do know stem cells have a higher chance of reacting badly with people. I have seen that a lot with people that have Lyme disease that have done stem cells. And I have, and there are other people that just don't respond well to stem cells at all. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to lose what I'm currently taking right now to, a treatment that the outcome is uncertain? And for me, I think I would have thought twice about doing exosomes had I known that I was going to have to stop my gamma guard. I think I would have really thought twice about it, or given it a little bit more thought. But I was reassured that I would still be able to take my gamma globulin or gamma guard medication. So you can see that I am very, very stressed. By the way, I haven't been crying or anything. I couldn't put anything on my eyes. My eyes have been itching like crazy for about 4 or 5 days, and I don't know what that's about. That will probably be in my next exosomes update, which is coming up, because we're coming up on 6 months. I'm about a week away from my 6-month post exosomes situation, and I will let you know all of that. So yeah, my eyes look a little beady today because I didn't put any eye makeup on. I really didn't put much makeup on because I don't know why my eyes are itching so badly. And they've been dry as well, and my mouth has been dry, everything. You guys will hear about it in my next update. But I'll add this to the exosomes playlist because I do think it's relevant to that. And like I said, these things, part of the reason I did this treatment is for you guys because people have so many questions, and I've said this a million times. It's an incredibly expensive treatment. At least for me it was. Whether you do stem cells or exosomes, you're going to be paying a good chunk of money, especially if you want quality product. But the outcome is unknown. It's unpredictable, and you really just have no idea what is going to happen. So I am basically taking the bullet. Do I completely regret it? Was the Gamma Guard doing so much for me that this is that losing it is the worst thing in the world? I haven't really decided that yet, because the Gamma Guard only improved my condition by about 30%. The exosomes, I mean, I'm worse than I was, but again, I was still having a lot of stomach problems with the Gamma Guard. I was having recurrent infections with the Gamma Guard. It's almost like nothing really has changed. My neurological symptoms are flared up, but I'm still having stomach issues. I'm still basically in the same boat, just a little bit more neurologically worse, but that appears to be coming down, or at least it's not as bad as it was in the beginning. So it's almost like I'm in the same situation. I just don't know what this is going to mean long term. Say, for example, after a year without my Gamma Guard, am I really going to be dealing with some serious consequences, even though I did exosomes? I mean, if the exosomes don't work, if they don't pick up where the Gamma Guard left off, then yeah, I might be in a really serious situation, come January. So that's the uncertainty, and that's the reason why I don't want to lose this authorization for this medication. So I may experiment with the Gamma Guard and see how I do. I obviously don't want to make my situation any more worse than it is right now. But I kind of feel like I'm in a place where I'm like, well, I'm not feeling that great. So if I feel a little bit worse, it's not going to be the end of the world. And also the Gamma Guard does work its way out of your system. And I'm about 3 months without Gamma Guard. And it takes me about 2 to 3 months to lose all the progress that I made with the immune globulin. I've been off of it before. I was on it for about a year and I had to stop it. And it took about 2 to 3 months to lose all of my progress. And it took actually a while after that. It took a few years for my inflammation to really take off. So, it's if I'm going to be seeing really, really bad negative effects, I will be seeing them right now because I'm 3 months out. I'm 3 months off of my Gamma Guard. And yeah, there's some things that are concerning me. But like I said before, I wasn't in tip-top shape before this. So I'm not really sure at this point if it is the worst thing that could happen. But we still have more time. We still have many more months to go. So I will try to update you guys on this situation. But I really thought that it was important for me to let you guys know because I have seen that question a few times, whether people can continue to take their medication after exosomes and stem cells. And doctors don't know. I hate to say this, but doctors they don't know, even researchers. Because my doctor was told by the researcher that sold me these exosomes that I could continue on my IVIG. There was no contraindication with that. So again, if the guy in charge doesn't know, then, we're experiments. We're human experiments, and you have to go into these treatments knowing that you are being experimented on. So that's what I have for you guys today. Please like and subscribe. If you have any other questions, like I said, besides my doctor and where I got the exosomes from, if you have any other questions regarding my experience with this treatment that you would like me to answer, please leave them in the comments below. Like I said, I think there's going to be a growing interest in exosomes and stem cells post-pandemic because a lot of people are going to be very sick with long COVID and other issues. And so I really want these videos to get out there so that you're well informed and that you don't end up spending money that you don't have on a treatment that may leave you in worse shape than you were before. So thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.